Court heard how schoolgirl Sara Sharif was hooded, restrained and beaten with a belt buckle and pole in a campaign of abuse lasting more than 2 years before her death. Taxi driver Irfan Sharif, 42, is on trial at the Old Bailey accused of his 10-year-old daughter's murder alongside Sarah's stepmother, Bianash Batul, 30, and uncle Faisal Malik, 29. All three deny murder, and the defence is yet to mount its case. The police found Sarah's body in a bunk bed in her family home in Woking, Surrey, on 10 August last year, with disturbing injuries that included bite marks, scalding and broken bones. The discovery followed a 999 call from her father, Sharif, in Pakistan, who told the operator he'd beat her up too much for being naughty. The court was told this week. It is alleged Sarah had died 2 days before, and within hours the defendants had booked a flight out of the country. Prosecutor William Emlyn Jones KC said evidence, including a soiled nappy, makeshift hoods, and a variety of potential weapons, such as rolling pins and a cricket bat, suggested more than one adult was involved. Jurors heard that other neighbours from when the Sharif family lived in West Byfleet, where they moved at some point between 2018 and 2019, and later in Woking, where they lived from April 2023, had heard screams, smacking and crying coming from their home. The court was told that neighbour Rebecca Spencer would hear banging and rattling sounds that would often be accompanied by the sounds of a child crying or a screaming, followed by complete silence. She added in a statement read by prosecutors that, on those occasions I can only describe the silence as deathly quiet, and I cannot even imagine what had happened to make the crying or screaming child become immediately so silent. Mrs. Spencer also described bangs from inside the Sharif's flat, like someone had been hit or smacked, the court was told. Mr. Emlyn Jones said she considered reporting it to social services, but ultimately decided against it. A series of WhatsApp messages that Batul sent to her sisters dating back to 2019 showed all was not well in the household and cast Sharif as an angry parent, Mr. Emlyn Jones told the court. In March 2020, neighbour Chloe Redwin allegedly heard children screaming and a woman shouting, "Shut the F up and go to your room. You effing bastard," she told of loud smacking followed by gut-wrenching screams of a young girl and a woman shouting, "Shut up, jurors were told." In messages to her sisters, Batul accused Sharif of beating his daughter up, saying, "Something happens to Sarah, I will not be able to forgive myself." In May 2021, she wrote, "Irfan beat the crap out of Sarah. She's covered in bruises, literally beaten black. I feel really sorry for Sarah. Poor girl can't walk. I really want to report him." In the first of 2 recordings of Sarah's injuries, jurors were told that the 10-year-old's primary school noted she had a bruise under her left eye in June 2022. University student and part-time McDonald's worker Malik moved into the family home in December 2022 and was present when screaming and slapping was going on, according to neighbour Miss Redwin. From last January, Sarah began to wear a hijab to school, which the court heard was unusual as she had never worn one before, and neither did anyone else in the family. Mr. Emlyn Jones suggested, "The fact that Sarah began to wear the hijab at around this time is indicative of the need to conceal injuries to her face and head from the outside world." Sarah's primary school recorded that she had a bruise on her chin and a dark mark on her right eye in March 2023, the court heard. The school contacted Children's Single Point of Access for advice, and it was agreed that a referral to social services was needed, Mr. Emlyn Jones said. Sarah's teacher, Helen Simmons, described her as a happy child, who at times would be sassy. When she asked Sarah about bruises last March, she gave conflicting explanations and pulled her hijab to hide her face. Sharif informed Sarah's school that she will be homeschooled with immediate effect last April, 4 months before her death. Sarah and her family moved to a 3-bedroom house in Hammond Road in the Horsell area of Woking on 6 April. On July 2023, leading to the weeks before Sarah died, Batul allegedly bought 18 rolls of parcel tape online within 9 days, jurors heard. There was evidence that the child had been restrained with her head covered with homemade hoods comprised of the parcel tape and plastic bags, the prosecution told the court. Fingerprints, allegedly belonging to Sharif, were found on one of the bags that was tested by forensics and on the non-adhesive side of a bit of parcel tape. A neighbour told police that 2 days before Sarah's death, 6 August 2023, she had heard a single high-pitched scream, which lasted a couple of seconds and then suddenly stopped. Mr. Emlyn Jones KC said, "It sounded to her like the scream of someone in pain. As she put it, it didn't sound good." On 8 August 2023, 9:07 p.m, being Ash Batul, Sarah's stepmother calls Southall Travel Agency to ask about flights to Pakistan, but after 50 minutes the call ends without flights being arranged. 10 p.m, Sharif contacts Nadeem Riaz, who works for a money transfer business, and says he needs a flight to Pakistan the next day. On 9th August 2023, 9:25 a.m, CCTV captures Sharif and his family arriving at Heathrow Airport to take a flight to Pakistan at 2 p.m. On 10th August 2023, 2:47 a.m, Sharif has arrived in Pakistan and phones police in the UK saying, "I've killed my daughter. I illegally punished her and she died. She was naughty. I beat her up. It wasn't my intention to kill her, but I beat her up too much." Police go to the family home in Woking and find Sarah's body in a bed with a note by the pillow in Sharif's handwriting. Traces of the 10-year-old's blood were discovered on the kitchen floor, a vacuum cleaner and a cricket bat, following a later police search of the family home. The prosecution said the court heard that expert analysis of some of the child's bruises concluded they could have been caused by a pole or the buckle of a belt recovered from a children's Wendy house in the garden. On 15th August 2023, a post-mortem examination is undertaken which concludes Sarah's death was not a natural one, with the 10-year-old found to have suffered dozens of injuries. There were alleged signs of blunt force trauma inflicted over several weeks, bruises, iron burns to the buttocks, restraint marks, scalding from hot water, and suspected human bite marks, jaws heard. On 6 September 2023, Sharif and Batul appear in a short video clip provided to and broadcast by Sky News in which Batul refers to Sarah's death as an incident. On 13th September 2023, Sharif, Batul and Sarah's uncle Faisal Malik take a flight into Gatwick and are met by police who arrest them on the plane. On 14th October 2023, the 3 defendants of Woking, Surrey, go on trial at the Old Bailey, having denied murder and causing or allowing Sarah's death.